Have you ever wondered why British royals don't use a last name? It may seem like one of the many perks of being British royalty, not having to bother with a last name. After all, there's only one king, so there's hardly a need for King Charles to clarify which Charles he is, right? Well, it's not exactly that simple. The British royal family does, in fact, have a last name. The surname is Windsor, but this wasn't always the case. Prior to 1917, royals were customarily known by the territory they governed, or the royal house to which they belonged. A prime example is Queen Victoria's eldest son, King Edward VII, whose full name was Albert Edward Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, a name he inherited from his father, Prince Albert of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha. However, the winds of change blew in 1917 when George V, Edward's son, faced a predicament. His surname sounded strikingly German, and during World War I, such an association was far from desirable. His solution? He renamed his family after Windsor Castle, and from that point forward, any descendants of Queen Victoria, with the exception of married women, carried the last name Windsor. In 1960, Queen Elizabeth II and her husband, Prince Philip, decided to put a unique twist on the Windsor name to distinguish their descendants from the rest of the royal family. Hence, their children and grandchildren can use Mountbatten-Windsor as their surname on official documents such as marriage and birth certificates. Yet, the royal naming process didn't stop there. Kings and queens have the liberty to change the last names of their family as they please, since it's a matter of precedent rather than an official decree. And when it suits them, royals sometimes adopt other names. For instance, Princes Harry and William used Wales as their last name while serving in the military, taking on their father's title as the then Prince of Wales. Given this intricate naming protocol, it's hardly surprising that most members of the royal family prefer to go by their titles instead. So there you have it, a brief journey through the history of the British royal family's last name. We've seen how names were once tied to territories or royal houses, how World War I prompted a name change to Windsor, and how personal preferences led to the creation of the Mountbatten-Windsor surname. We've also discovered that royals can adopt other names when convenient, and that, ultimately, titles still reign supreme. Who knew a name could carry so much history?